Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to make a template from a normal HTML page. Now I'm going to use the index page here, so you can do the same by following along. If you just double click your index and get it open, and it should look something like this. It might be slightly different to mine because I've been playing around with mine for future lessons, but you can see that in essence it's all the same code that you've been using. What we need to do is we need to add certain areas to this page that we can edit, and certain areas we leave alone that aren't going to be changed. So, for example, on all the pages I'm going to make, they're all going to have the same site name. So I'm just going to call this Mr. Chapman site. If I put an S on that word, there we go. I'm going to leave that alone. Now, I might want to change the image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to surround, when I click on it, if I have it on split view up here, and I click on the image, what I want to do is I actually want to surround that whole div, so I can change the whole div. And when I've done that, what I need to press is Control, Alt, and V. And what that does, it brings up a box, and it says, would you like to create a new editable region? And all an editable region is an area that you're allowed to change in a file that's linked into a template. So I'm going to call this top image. And as soon as I do that, you'll see, first off, you get this blue box on top, which describes what the editable area is. And secondly, in here, you get some tags. You get this tag, and you get this tag here, which surround the actual div I selected, and they create the editable area. So that's my first place that I want to be editable. And I'm going to go down through the, and I won't want, at the moment, I'm going to leave the menu alone here. I could make this editable so I can change the words. I'm going to leave it for the moment. I'm just going to do two simple areas. So your other menu will be slightly different to mine because I've been playing with mine. I've also put a video in. The page heading, I want to change the heading, so I click on there and it gives me that. So I'm going to change that. I'm going to make that into an editable area, and again I grab from the start of the H2 tag to the end of it, and I do Control, Alt, and V again. And this one I'm going to call it Content Header. And once again, it gives me my blue box. It puts the begin editable area and end editable area tags around my content. Okay, so what I need to do from that is now, inside Dreamweaver, there's a special file save as, and it's actually a file save as template. So you come down here, you file save as template, and I'm going to give it a name, and I'm going to call it main. And I'm going to make sure you're in the right site, and I'm going to click on there, and what will happen is it will create a new folder over here called templates, and it'll save this template inside there. And it'll ask you to update the links. Just click yes, and there we go. There's our template folder, and inside is our main Dreamweaver template. Okay, so that's the first section finished. That's the first section finished. So if I close that down, now what I want to do is I want to create a new file, and on here, on your main sheet, it doesn't actually give you the option. So I'm going to go to File and New. Now, it's sensed I've got a template, so it's already dropped me onto the template. But if you're in here, where we've been creating the others from, click over to Template, click on the main, it'll load in your template page, and make sure it's got Update Page when template changes. This means if you go back and make changes to the template, it will update every page that you've got linked to that template. So what I'll do now is I'll create, and that creates a blank, untitled HTML page. What you can see about this page already is I can click on that image. I cannot touch that there. I cannot touch that menu. I cannot touch this menu. I can touch this page heading, because these are the areas I've made editable. These areas I can change on every page. So what I do now is I want to turn this page into my index page. Now I've already got the existing, but I need the index page to be linked into the template. At the moment this one isn't. So I go File, Save As, and I simply just click on the index so it changes the name. Click Save and it says, would you like to overwrite the existing file? Yes please. Now my template is now linked to my index page, or the other way around. So I can change the page heading, and I can change the image. Now if I go back into my template, and I open up main template, and I decide that I would like to have another area editable, so I come down here, and just for the sake of it, I want to make this area the copyright. So I come down to the footer. So I'm going to just go over my div for my footer, Control Alt V again. I'm going to call it footer. So I'm going to click OK. Now, if I do Control S, I get a message that says, would you like to update all the files that connected to the template? In my case, I've only got one at the moment, which is index. Yes, please, I'd like to update that. And once it's done that, I just click Close. Now what that's done, if I go to Index, and I go down to the bottom, it's actually updated my index page and made this area editable as well. So if I have 10, 20, 30, 50, 1,000 pages all based on one template, if I make a change in that template, it will be reflected on my pages in as much time as it takes to update them. That is the power and the reason why you work off templates.